last contest. Groceries for you and your family for the next 8 years.
Here's the entire prize package number 201 from KCBQ. Let me say first that during any given day we receive up to 100 phone calls from people claiming that they just can't believe that we're offering things like this on the air. It's very simple. Simply listen for the secret phone number. You call in. If you're the winner, you get to choose any prize package number that you want. As unbelievable as it sounds, prize package number 201 is a set of flying lessons and a helicopter. And to go with your helicopter, a brand new 1972 Cessna 150 airplane. The next call will be the winner on the last contest, correct? This is the call.
So we can all share the moment. KCBQ presents a winner in slow motion.
Call. KCBQ.
The instant before winning.
Bill Brooks.
Bill?
Yeah.
You have just won.
The moment of actually winning.
Just won KCBQ's last contest.
The instant after winning.
What prize package number do you want?
A moment of giving.
Bill, you have just won a brand new 1972 Ferrari.
And a moment of receiving.
That's all right. Man, I don't know what to say. God, I've been playing it for a long time.
The last contest.
Hey Buckaroos, welcome back. Part 2 of contests and promotions. Today we're going to have a lot of fun today. There's going to be a lot of audio. I've been messing with video. I've just been sort of recreating stuff that happened 50 years ago and brought it up to date. It's just going to be, just different. I started out looking for audio of contests because, I wanted to do this second series about contests and promotions and, play some contests so that you could hear them and then we talk about them, the usual. And I happened to hit a composite, about a 20-minute composite of the last contest in San Diego at KCBQ in 1972. And it was an amazing contest back then. It's probably the Rolls Royce of radio contests. There has been none better ever. Okay, I mean, if you're older and you can remember it, you're going to go, oh my God, I remember that thing. Wow. If you're young and you don't remember it, it is an amazing case study to go through and explain to you all the pieces that went on so that you now have a frame of reference which is sky high. If you can only do, half of this, you're going to have an amazing promotion and contest on the air. If you can do it all, oh my God, God bless you. And one of the things that I sort of did along the way, and I'll show it to you, I took some of their promos and what I did was I put video to them. And like you could, back then it would be incredibly expensive to try to do that. But now it's easy, even I can do it. And, I'm a 73-year-old guy that's only been doing video editing for, a couple years. And so if you had somebody at the station that's really good at this, you could do some amazing things of what I'm about to show you. Put these on your website, run the promos visually, full on your website, huge website traffic. Any clients that are on those videos, you can sell it to them. You can basically do the promotion for free, which is what happened with the last contest. The PD was Jack McCoy, a brilliant guy who, just did an amazing thing here with this. As you'll see, he had prize packages. These are really big, large prize packages, huge prize packages. I'll play you a few of them and you go like, holy crap, those are pretty heavy duty.
We'll now take you for a ride in prize package 158. As unbelievable as it may sound, prize package number 158 is a brand new 1972 Flaming Fire Red 246 GT Pininfarina Dino Ferrari.
But back then they were worth about $20,000 to $25,000 each one because, that's the way they were. But now they're worth, about $150,000 to $160,000 each. And he had somewhere around the 220 range of them. So 220 prize packages, each of them worth back then 25 grand. Now each of them worth $160,000, $170,000. Back then, that entire contest was worth $5.9 million that the station didn't have to pay for. Got it free. Now, given inflation, if you take a look at this, it's worth $39 million if you wanted to recreate that today. But you could actually recreate it today, but you'd have to definitely work at it a lot harder probably than they did, back then, to get the clients on board, because the numbers are a lot larger, but they still must have just worked their butts off because they had a lot of clients and they had some amazing stuff. So let's go through it. Sorry, I need some notes here because, there's a lot going on here. So how did it work? Well, in its simplest form, this is basically what happened, and it happens all the time now, but they took it and put it on steroids. Essentially what you're doing is you're letting people call in to the radio station to qualify for some really big prize that you're going to give away later on, and the only people who can win that prize later on are the people that qualified. And then later on, you're going to do something where the people who qualified actually win. Maybe it's a draw, maybe only those people call into the radio station, which is what they did, back at KCBQ, or something. But that basically is it. Qualifiers, big prize, qualifiers, somebody wins. That's it. Pretty simple, huh? But it was so much more than that. Again, like I mentioned, the prizes were insane. In today's terms, $39 million worth of prizes for one radio station. They don't even do that when they go, coast to coast, when, like, say, iHeart does, contests where maybe they put up, I don't know, I'm not quite sure what they put up total, but let's just say it's $500,000, and they have $10,000 winners or $100,000 winners, coming from across the country. The whole country is playing, for that amount of money. This was one radio station in San Diego for $39 million in today's terms, going for a contest. The overall premise, I think, because they were in a battle with another radio station called KGB, and it was one of those, epic, legendary battles, the two stations. And I think Jack McCoy, who is the PD, who is also, as far as I understand it, I'm pretty sure that I'm right on this, he's the voice that you're going to hear on all of the promos. I think he actually, somewhere along the way, starting out, I believe that he was a producer, and I think he produced them too. And they are amazing. And when you listen to them, they're a little bit muddy. I tried to clean them up as best I can. But when you listen to these, and you might go, oh, okay, you could do better. Just think about it for a second. This is 50 years ago. He did this. There was no digital anything. He's cutting tape. He's literally got a razor blade hacking tape back then on two tracks and bouncing the tracks. One track there, bouncing them, to try to, load up tracks and stuff. So he ends up with some multi-track thing. When they finally had a winner on the air, and even my understanding is even before this, they would actually take parts of San Diego, parts of the counties of San Diego, and the entire phone system would go down. So let's just say San Diego was maybe comprised of 4 counties back then. One of those counties, probably different ones at times, they just go down. You try to make a phone call, good luck with that. The whole system would be down. And parts of Southern California along the coast went down, probably between San Diego and Mexico. Goodbye, there's no phone there. They've actually brought the entire Bell telephone system down. So that's how many people were listening, and that's how big it was. And they reached a lot more people than just the radio station, certainly at first, because they used direct mail, which also I'll kind of get into later, helped them do this for free. The whole thing was done on trade. And a lot of stations back at that time actually tried. I was at one station, I was a jock, and we tried to copy it, and we had a pretty decent amount of money to do it, but it was nothing like this thing. It was lame in comparison. And I heard a lot of stations trying to do it, and they were pretty lame copying the original also, and they actually then syndicated it. And again, even the syndicated ones weren't as good as the original because they didn't have as many prizes and pricing and big ticket items and all that sort of stuff. So let's go through what they wanted to do. Obviously, they wanted to go big. And the pricing that they had was around 220 prize packages. And when you think about that, when you have a prize package and you're doing a contest, you have to do pre-promos, right? And I don't know how many pre-promos they actually did, but I would assume it probably would have been a lot. Then you're going to have to actually do promos for each prize package. So if you have 220 prize packages, you are doing 220 promos for this contest just for the prizes. Think of that. I mean, right now, how many promos are you doing if you're programming a radio station right now and when you're giving away stuff? I mean, what are you going to really do? Probably 5 promos, maybe 10, 20 if you're awesome. They're doing 220. And they pre-promoted the prizes coming up with teases, and there's another 220 tease promos. Forget the big ones that they did when they were actually telling you the prize. They did 220 pre-ones too.
Here is the entire prize package number 162 to you from the queue. Made for 8 full years.
And then there were jock liners, and the jocks were talking about it.
KCBQ, where Chris Bailey will be offering a Q6 pack of brand new 1972 cars tonight in the last contest.
KCBQ, where Chris Kane will be offering a diamond ring worth more than $14,000 later this morning in the last contest.
KCBQ, where tomorrow morning Charlie Tuna will be offering a Q pack of brand new Corvette Stingrays in the last contest.
At the top of every single hour, when you did the top of the hour ID for KCBQ San Diego, home of the last contest, jock change. So-and-so's got prize package number 109 coming up. He'll tell you all about it. So a huge amount of promotion going on the air and a monstrous amount of physical production, just the pieces, much less how elaborate they actually did it. Let me give you an idea of how elaborate, some of these promos were. Again, some of these I'll play and it's just the audio. And then other ones, I'm going to actually throw some video on top of them. Again, as if it's done today. And just picture this, if you were doing this contest and you have this and another 219 of this on your website. How much traffic do you think you're going to get on your website? People coming in and wanting to know and see what the prize packages are. And all of that has value if you wanted to trade it out with somebody who has the actual prize.
Prize package number 189. KCBQ is actually financing a treasure expedition to the Caribbean. Adventure on the seas. This prize is not for the weak at heart. Sure, there's sharks down there. Our ancestors must have had quite a feast back in 1715 when a Spanish galleon went down in 25 feet of water here. It was filled with $5.5 million in silver and gold. If you're lucky, you'll get some of it. If you're even luckier, you'll get back to tell us about it. We'll furnish you with a brand new 24-foot yacht to live on, all the diving equipment you'll need, underwater camera, underwater propulsion vehicle, and thousands of dollars to get you up a crew and some supplies. The adventure you furnish yourself. And under the Caribbean, it's not that far away. Oh yeah, and when the summer's up, keep all the equipment, including the yacht. To you from the queue and prize package number 189.
KCBQ San Diego!
One of the things I like about this contest, in addition to how imaginative it is and all the things that's going on with this contest, this is stuff where your mind is just reeling, because back then there's no pictures like I added in. But when you're back then and there's no pictures, your mind is filling it all in. I mean, it's a huge experiential thing that's going on where people go, oh man, yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to win that thing. That's what's running through their head. But what I really liked about this too was the audio signature that I mentioned a couple lessons back. And the audio signature, had a lot of things going on. One was Jack McCoy's, the PD who's voicing this. It's his delivery. Very different delivery, especially at that time, because at that time most jocks and most promo guys, they're really up and they're yelling and they're in your face. He's going the other way. He's pretty low key, and and just kind of delivering it in a intense but pretty low key way. the use of the wording and the creative writing to paint pictures is really, really exceptional. Another unique signature is the bell, and the trailer. You heard that, you knew what was coming next, which was the unique name of the last contest. And when you put them together, pretty powerful.
The last contest.
One other thing that Jack was doing with his writing, and I have one example of it because that's all I could find. It was on the composite. I wish I had more, but you'll get the idea of this. They had a bigger than thou, I got an attitude that, I can do anything. We're the station. Everybody else is like, it doesn't count, and you asked for this. And we're going to give it to you and all of that. And it comes through in his writing and literally the way he says it.
KCBQ will now discontinue offering the large prize packages that we have been. They're simply too small. Within the week, we continue with the last contest.
And lastly, what's pretty unique, because he had some pretty good guts to do this, because this was pretty odd even back then, 50 years ago, and it would be odd now, and it would have been odd anywhere along the way, and it might even be odd for the future. He took certain phrases that were really important and he repeated them. Now, a lot of people, they do that now, and you can win, you can win, you can win. No, he did way more than that. Way more than that, when they would repeat phrases to grind it into your skull so that you know what's going on. Take a listen.
KCBQ now continues with the last contest. Anytime you hear the secret phone number, simply call in to win. Choose any prize package number that you wish. Even the smallest prize package is now worth thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Here's a small example. With a winner, an hour. A winner, an hour. A winner, an hour. A winner, an hour.
Now, as you can tell, they had one winner per hour. Not the winner of the contest, but a winner of the right to play the contest. Okay, they had a qualifier. Let's do some math here, okay? If there are 220 prize packages and they introduced a new one each day, then the contest would roughly be 220 days long, which is somewhere between 7 and 8 months long, which is a really long time, but they're introducing something new every day. Now, let's assume that they really didn't go one per day. Maybe they did 2 or 3 a day, but if they did 2 a day, obviously half of 220 is 110 days, which is still 4 months, which is a little bit over a typical quarter of a ratings quarter. So, I'm assuming that maybe they were a little faster than 2 a day and they made the 3-month quarter, and that's what the contest was about. But even then, if you say to yourself, well, we had a qualifier 1 per hour, 6 a.m. to midnight, that's 18 hours. It would be 18 hours times 110 days. So that's roughly somewhere in the range of 2,000 qualifiers. And all 2,000 of those qualifiers are calling the radio station when they give out a secret number to call to actually be the big prize winner and pick your prize package, which is why the phone company came down, because I have no doubt that every other listener was calling too, because they didn't quite understand that maybe you had to qualify ahead of time. So I'm sure they had all of their listeners, so there might have been like 300,000 people trying to call the same number, at the exact same time. Pretty sick, really. Love that. Now, if done today with videos for each prize package, as I did, and it's on your website, and it's got a sponsor's logo on it, and perhaps, qualifying with texts instead of call-ins, and I'll tell you why that might be important later. I'm not 100% sure of this, but I'll tell you something that MTV did, which I believe you can do now, but I'm not 100% sure, and I had a hard time finding on the net if you can do it now. But, that's for North America. Different country, you might be able to do this. Okay? Text, I'll tell you about that. So instead of calling in to qualify, you're getting text to qualify with a phone number that you would call them and go, hey, you qualified. Or, that type of thing. That way you get a winner on the air and people are sort of excited. Oh, and you can talk about the prizing. So you have all the promos going with carrying a client. So let's say the client is Corvette. It's a Corvette, or it's a Corvette from so-and-so's Chevrolet. Okay, say that's the prize. Okay, you've had them in the video, and you're probably showing the dealership in the video. You know, when the car's, coming out of the garage or something, and everybody's smiling. Okay, cool. So they're writing the video. They're writing everything on your website. They're writing all of the promos. Well, not all of the promos that pertain to the Corvette. And in their instance, in San Diego, they were writing the direct mail. So not that hard, actually probably fairly easy to actually trade everything out. Everything. And do this for free, this larger than life, insanely big promotion. Before I jump to a few more videos, and so you can actually hear the contest and see it and stuff like that, let me tell you about MTV. And it had to do with text. And I always thought this was really, really innovative, and somebody was really thinking, just like McCoy was really thinking in San Diego. I mean, there's a huge amount of brainstorming going on with this. This really was an amazing thing to conjure up. It really was. But this was too for MTV. They gave away, I think it was like 1988 they did it, maybe 1989, somewhere around in there. They gave away on MTV, on the TV channel, the cable channel, coast to coast. They gave away 32 Corvettes to one winner. And I think the cell line was something like, you'd see it on the screen, 32 Corvettes, one winner, no kidding. I think that's kind of what came up on the screen, if I can remember, which is amazing in itself. That's like almost 30 years ago, just to remember that. So they gave away every single year from the first year. So let's just say, I don't actually remember what the first year was, but let's just say the first year is 1954. That's when the first Corvette came out. They gave away 1954, 55, 56, 57, 58, all of them, every single model, all the way up to 1989 or whatever that year was when they were doing this. One winner got all of them. I mean, that's like better than Jay Leno's garage, really, pretty much, for, and how would you store those? I mean, you'd have to have like a city parking lot to be able to do that. Anyway, I digress. Put that aside. They actually made money on it. They not only paid for the cars, but they made money on this thing, because at that time, you could get a text for 60 cents that you could set it up that way where if somebody was going to text you, say I was the station, and you texted me, you'd have to pay 60 cents to send that text to me, of which I got a piece. So maybe, the phone company got 10 cents and I got half a buck. And they had, it's a coast to coast channel. It's MTV. It was monstrous, back in the 80s. Not so much now, but back then it was huge. Long story short, they got in from the texts $2 million. They made $2 million coming through the door off the texts alone, which was more than enough to pay for all the cars, and and have money left over. So I throw that out to you too, because it's within this range of what I want you to know. I mean, if you're younger and you've never heard of the last contest, I definitely want you to hear it, so it opens your mind of, wow, that was pretty heavy duty. I didn't realize you could do stuff like that. Or, yeah, okay, now I got something else to shoot for, because I'm used to hearing sort of so-so contests or average stuff, or things without creative writing, or things where it's, A plus B plus C winner. And it's not, larger than life. And if you're older and you remember this, it's kind of like, let me take you down memory lane for just a second, okay? So, that's what we're doing today, and hopefully it'll be fun for everybody.
KCBQ, who am I talking to?
Randy Murdoch.
You are the first winner in KCBQ's last contest.
Fantastic.
Randy, which prize package number do you choose?
143.
That prize package is a beautiful, brand new 1972 Triumph Spitfire convertible.
Oh, beautiful.
And a 16-foot Hobie Cat for sightseeing wherever you want to go out in the ocean, man. How about that?
Fantastic.
Man, you're going to join the crowd right now. The Hobie Cats.
KCBQ will now discontinue offering the large prize packages that we have been. They're simply too small. Within the week, we continue with the last contest.
Jack McCoy's The Last Contest. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got something out of it. And we'll go to part 3 of promotions and contests, and I'll do that for next week. And hopefully the way we're going, I think it's going to be 4. There'll be 4 series for promotions and contests, 4 different pieces. This being number 2, next week being number 3. And one of them, of course, will be with Ken Benson. I got in contact with Kenny early in the week, and he got COVID. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. So hopefully he's better. It seems like he was going to be better, and I think we're going to record it next week. And then we'll do it, and you'll see it. And that will be all about when you're doing a contest, like I was just describing with promos and pre-promos and liners and things, how physically you should be doing that. How many of them should you be doing? How far out do you start? How many per hour? Where are they on the clocks and stuff? All of that type of stuff, the nuts and bolts of physically doing a contest. We'll do that too, and I think that's going to be sort of the 4th lesson in this series. Okay? That's it for promotions and contests this week. We'll do it all again next week. As always, hit the like button. Hope you subscribe. Again, we're getting really close to 400 PDs as subscribers. And man, I don't know what else I can tell you other than I will see you next week. See ya!
3 brand new 1972 Venture 24-foot ocean-going sailing yachts. Sleeping area for 15 people. A fantastic collection of 3 speedboats. This price package will include New York City, Miami, the Bahamas, Las Vegas, New Orleans. 80,000 miles of adventure aboard United Airlines. 6 weeks in Vegas. All expenses paid by KCBQ. We'll toss in $5,000 worth of gambling chips. Your own brand new 1972 25-foot Trojan Express yacht. A special Q-pack of 3 Asian elephants. 1,000 cc's of over-the-road dynamite. We know your friends are going to envy you, so we're going to throw in a couple of extra Harley Sportsters for them, too. 3 Harley Sportsters, a 72 Vegan, a 15-day round trip to Europe.
Not just 1 or 2 head, but a whole herd of cattle.
Dinner at McDonald's for you and 15,000 of your close friends. 2 luxury 1972 Corvette.